Hi, my name is Natalie. I'm a labor and delivery nurse working in the Bay Area in California, and I just want to share with you my story when I went to Uganda about 2 years ago. So I remember walking into this clinic that I decided to volunteer at. I walked into the operating room where a C-section had just finished, and all I saw was this beautiful baby girl laying on a metal cart by herself. But before I could even do anything, the baby turned blue and stopped breathing. So I ran really quickly to get the midwife because I didn't know where any of the equipment was. She took out some of the equipment to resuscitate the baby. We worked on resuscitating the baby, and the baby came back to life. She was breathing fine. We put a little bit of extra oxygen on her, and she looked beautiful and was breathing fine. And then all of a sudden, the machine would start beeping again. It would give out, and then the baby would die again. And I had never seen anything like that before. I kept fighting to resuscitate. The team had already moved on to the next delivery, but I never saw a baby die like that before, so I just kept fighting to resuscitate that baby. But the baby just kept dying over and over again. So the team looked at me and they said, just go let that one be with God. And they told me to take out this cardboard box that I saw on the floor and put the baby in it. So before the baby was even gone, we put the baby in a box and just watched it die in front of us. I remember walking into the room after that and seeing the mom who had just lost her baby, and she just sunk seeing that. Like, I walked back into the room without her baby. She had known that the baby didn't make it. A few days later, I actually got sick myself. I thought I had food poisoning, nothing major, so I stayed in the hotel room to heal, but I wasn't getting better. I was pretty hesitant to go to the hospital because the hospital that they wanted me to go to was about 4-5 hours away. It's really hard to get an ambulance. If it truly were an emergency, then I might not be able to go. And while I was walking to the ambulance, I actually lost consciousness, and they had to carry me into the ambulance. I remember going over dirt roads, and every bump and every little hill that we hit, it would just hurt so much. But we finally got to the hospital in the capital and walked in. And I remember they did an ultrasound on me, and all they said was, blood all over, you're bleeding all over. And the doctor looked at me and he said, you need emergency surgery. So I just remember that feeling of, oh my gosh, I need emergency surgery, and thinking of the operating rooms that I had been working in and seen where there wasn't resources to clean between every surgery. The equipment was sterilized, but I don't know how sterile they could really get it. And my thought was, oh my gosh, are they gonna see all this blood inside of me and say, oh, just let that one go be with God, just like I saw them say about that baby. I got into the operating table eventually, and I remember looking into my surgeon's eyes as he walked in and telling him, please don't let me die, please save my life, don't let me bleed out, I still have more life to live. And I went to sleep not knowing if I'd wake up again. I said my goodbyes to my family and friends in case it was the last time that I was going to see them. But thankfully, I woke up, and after losing 1.5 liters of blood and having a hemorrhagic cyst that had burst, they saved my life. After this story, what I remember, the thoughts that came to my mind was, why was I this lucky that by some chance of just by where I was born, or the fact that I could afford the $54 ambulance ride, that my life was saved, but that baby that I saw didn't have the resources or the money to take that same ambulance ride that I did. And I just think about those people that cared for me in that village, the people who brought me blankets when I was sick, the ones that brought me food to my room when I was too tired and too sick to come out and get a meal, and the ones that carried me into the ambulance ride. And so because of this, I want to give some medical resources back to the people that took care of me, to the people who treated my life with value simply because of where I was born, or the fact that I had the resources by chance. I want to build a maternity center, or start a maternity center with my good friend who was the one who carried me and did an IV on me and helped to save my life and took care of me when I was in the hospital. And I want to build a maternity center that will just have the basic resources to help save women who are in labor, They can have resources to help them if they're bleeding out as well. And I never want to see a baby die the way that I saw that baby die that day. So I want to start a hospital that will have basic resources like medicine to stop bleeding, as well as suctioning equipment that is the right size and that will be more effective and more sterile, as well as an oxygen machine that can continue working in case a baby needs supplemental oxygen. So I'm asking you for your help to give back to people who treated my life with kindness and with value simply because of where I happened to be born. But what if we were the ones that were born in a place that didn't have those resources? I feel like I didn't do anything to deserve having better medical access. I didn't do anything to be born where I was born, and we don't get to choose where we're born. So please, I'm asking you to partner with me. If you'd like to help, I can give you more details on this maternity center. It'll be about a 2 to 3 year process. I'm partnering with a friend who has successfully started mobile clinics in Uganda in the past, and has a business model that can help be self-sustainable, hopefully in 2 to 3 years. I'm attempting to raise about $75,000. We're about a third of the way there. And with your help, hopefully we can have a lasting maternity center, which isn't something that really exists in Uganda. Thank you.